Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Carmine and I have some belt hobby news. So, not a lot to talk about tonight, and I'm not going to make this a long, drawn out thing because why make it a long, drawn out thing, right? So, we just went live and we're going to wait and see if a couple people show up because I do want to answer questions to the best of my ability if I can, if anybody has any of those questions. So, if not, maybe you could just drop them in the comments and I'll try and catch up with them later. But a lot of us have orders out right now, or we do a lot of business, overseas. So in the belt hobby, there are a couple things that are constants, right? How you guys doing tonight? There's a couple things that are constants, and there's a couple things that we keep going back to. So the belt hobby relies a lot on Pakistan, and a lot of our materials, a lot of our belts are made in Pakistan. So you have, first of all, the tariff thing that's happening right now, and that will, even with HD coming from China, a lot of the HD comes from China, it gets over to Pakistan. So we missed that tariff, but you get the tariff coming in from Pakistan possibly. So those are big things. But tonight, I don't know how many of you watch the news. Tonight, India and Pakistan have actually started engaging in active warfare. These are two nuclear powers, so it does become kind of scary, and you hope that cooler heads will prevail as this whole thing shakes out. But right now, they are actually engaged in combat for the first time in a long time. They've been on the precipice for a while, but this is the first time they've actually engaged. So what I've just learned, and Mike actually picked this up and relayed it to me in a different chat. What I've actually just learned is that there is now a no-fly zone over Pakistan, which is interesting because obviously my first concern is the people of Pakistan and India and their safety. But as it relates to the belt hobby and the business that we do here, there is a no-fly zone over Pakistan for at least the next 48 hours. I've got to imagine no orders are going to be leaving the country of Pakistan. I've been assured by one of the makers that I work with that my order is shipping out tomorrow. Now, it may, in fact, go to the hub to be shipped, but I don't see how a UPS plane is going in or out of there. I don't know that UPS is going to want to fly in or out of there for the foreseeable future. We could be stuck in a loop if people don't want to do that. And that's going to rely a lot on the shipping companies themselves and whether or not they want to ship out of there. Right now, for the next 48 hours, they're not going to be allowed to. But you have to, when there's a country engaging in warfare, two countries in this case, powerful countries, you have companies like DHL and UPS and FedEx that don't want to fly in and out of there. And so this can be problematic. And a war between these two countries could last 2 weeks. It could last 2 years. You don't know. And you don't know how that's going to affect commerce. So I'm sure they'll have something where they can get stuff maybe to Egypt or Qatar and then get that shipped out to the United States. But right now, you're going to be hearing from your makers if you've got stuff on order. Even if it's not true, they've got a built-in excuse right now, which is the country's at war. But right now, I'm telling you the excuse is valid because there is a no-fly zone over the country of Pakistan for at least the next 48 hours. So, it's a fluid situation. I don't really have much news on it. Again, you hope that the United States or Europe steps in here and tries to calm the tensions and cooler heads can prevail. But these two countries hate each other. They've hated each other for centuries. So them being at war is not a massive surprise. But as it relates to the belt hobby, it becomes problematic if you get a lot of stuff from Pakistan. Personally, I have just a couple things on order there. I've been getting most of my stuff from the United States or the UK or Australia, so or WWE Shop or Shop AEW. So I haven't really had to deal too much with Pakistan. But right now, this is going to be a problem. So if you have any orders that we're supposed to ship out this week, I wouldn't count on it. And I don't know how far that extends into the future. I will do my best to keep you informed. The reason I come live instead of post it in the group is I left most of the groups. I'm not in most groups anymore. I feel like you don't need to be in the groups to participate in the hobby, and you can kind of be in the hobby without being in the groups in kind of a less drama way. If you really want to be drama free, you separate yourself from the drama, because the administrators aren't going to do it. And you can't rely on other people to do it, right? So you have to do you. And so anyway, that's why I come live, because I'm not in the groups. So you guys can spread the message in the groups and just post or whatever and let people know what's going on, because I'm sure not everybody follows the news like a hawk, but it is my job. So I am, I know of the information because I watch. But I don't know any more than right now that you can know watching the news. I don't have any special information, or I haven't talked to anybody about it. Haven't talked to any sources. It's international, and it's not really. We're not involved, so it's nothing my sources would really be privy to per se, in a way that would give you any more information than you can get by just watching the news. So that's not my beat. My beat is United States politics mainly. So if it doesn't really relate to United States politically, I don't really delve into that area. So I'm assuming nobody has any questions. It's not really anything to question. It's just if you have orders from Pakistan right now, I wouldn't hold my breath in getting them for the foreseeable future, at least the next few days. And then we'll see what happens after that. Hopefully tensions calm down. But what happened was there was a Pakistani attack inside of India about a week ago, give or take. And the Indian people wanted a response to that. And so the Indian people struck Pakistan tonight. Now the Pakistani people want a response to that. And this is how it escalates. So that's basically what's going on. I couldn't tell you what they're fighting over. They're fighting over the same thing for 1,000 years. So, they don't like each other. That's the long and short of it. So hopefully, like I said, this is going to be a quick video tonight. Hopefully that explains a little bit to you. And like I said, if you want to share that information in groups, you can post news articles or whatever if you Google them. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's harder than it sounds. It's harder than it sounds to put an end to all this stuff. People, these are regional conflicts where people have been at war or hating each other for hundreds of years, and so these regional conflicts can get very intense. And while they're contained in that region generally, they still can get very heated and a lot of loss of life, and it's just a sad situation. So be that as it may, I just wanted to let you guys know what's going on as far as what I know. And again, all I know is from watching the news. You can know the exact same thing by turning on the news or just Googling India, Pakistan right now and find out what's going on. And you'll get all the information you need if you keep checking on that. So God bless you guys. Stay safe. Love you. Take care, everybody.